Welcome back. COVID vaccination is underway for teenagers in the 15 to 18 years category. Lakhs of teenagers have signed up on the CoWIN platform for these vaccinations.
As vaccination begins for the age group of 15 to 18 student category, we hear reporting in Mumbai's BKC Jumbo Vaccination Center, where you can see through the visual that how these are the school kids, those are here, and in fact apart from that the people those have registered online and walk-in entries are also allowed. Their registration takes place before their vaccination, and here also there is a student who is getting vaccinated, as you can see. In fact, before providing them vaccines, the nurses, the doctors over here inform them that which vaccine dose has been given to them, if they get any symptom or if any the problem, then what all precaution they must take. But as we see over here clearly that the vaccination process have already begun, but very importantly the procedures over here are quite different for the kids section, because they have been kept separated from the adult and the senior citizen category. As we see here, the registration have already begun. A huge number of student category are coming forward to take their vaccine jab.
All right, there's news coming in from Mumbai. A record 8,082 fresh COVID cases have been reported in the last 24 hours. For at least the third consecutive day, the number of cases being reported from Mumbai is at or near the 8,000 case mark. Certainly a huge number of cases that have been added in the past 3 days on this scene. This is Dr. Dilip Mavlankar, Director of the Indian Institute of Public Health, Gandhinagar, and Member Secretary of the Gujarat State COVID Task Force. Let me come to you first, Mr. Das Gupta. The numbers in Mumbai, and we've also seen the numbers rising in the national capital, Mumbai and Delhi numbers have been rising. Mumbai, for the third consecutive days, has had cases around 8,000. Now, this is clearly showing that the number of the case load in these cities is rising at a very, very rapid rate.
Thank you. Good evening. Yes, of course, we expect the numbers to continue rising, and I expect this will continue to rise for the next 4 to 6 weeks. As of early at this phase, hospitalization is still not to the extent that the cases have increased. So let me give a quick example from Delhi. On 1st January, there were 6,000 active cases with 247 hospitalized and 5 on ventilator support. The last time this happened, that was 27 March 2021. For 6,000 active cases, 1,150 oxygen beds were occupied and 145 were on ventilator support. So that's the nature of decoupling that we have seen in other parts of the world, and also in evidence here. But as cases continue to rise, and it will continue to rise rapidly, then we will have to see the kind of stresses on the health service system. But as we know, all state governments, the central government, and the local bodies are preparing very well and very hard.
All right, let me take this question across to Dr. Dilip Mavlankar. Sir, the issue is of children's vaccination. Now, there are over 37 lakh kids in that category, and in fact, we've seen lakhs of them already sign up on the COVID platform. This is very, very significant, but many questions are also being asked as to the one vaccine that we have, Covaxin. Is that sufficient? Do we need more vaccines which are available, not just in India for other age groups, but also globally? Should this kitty of vaccines be expanded perhaps so that we can reach as many children at the earliest?
Yeah, I think as a public health professional, let me tell you how happy I am to see the children being vaccinated, even if it is with the one vaccine alone. We are delighted, and parents will be really happy that children are getting vaccinated because they have been out of school for a long time. Now, coming to your question, of course, we should have more vaccines for children. But in any new disease, new drugs, etc., first adults are tried on, and once the safety is proved in adults, then we move on to children. So even though other vaccines are approved, we should, of course, look at the data very carefully and ensure that safety is there, and then only approve the vaccines. Of course, there are several vaccines being given in the world, so we can't expect that our children are so very different that they will develop some very new complications. But our technical people in the various committees have to be very proactive, review the available vaccines, and see which other ones we can approve for children.
Let me take that across to Dr. Rajiv Dasgupta. Sir, as in fact Dr. Mavlankar has mentioned over here, we're not the only country that's vaccinating children. In fact, children are being vaccinated across the globe in different countries. Two concerns over here: A, increasing the number of vaccines, and B, also, what about those children in the 10 to 15 age group as well? Because that is another age group where vaccinations are required, and even perhaps for those younger than 10.
Yes, I fully agree with Dr. Mavlankar. And of course, why the 12 plus age group as a whole is important is because as far as the COVID disease and the transmission dynamics goes, 12 to 18 years age group behaves more or less like adults. And 6 to 12 is a different category. And therefore, the sooner we expand it to the 12 to 18 year age group, the more welcome it is. But yes, it is going to be dependent on vaccine supplies, on logistics, and on recalibrating the program, all of going on. And it is the initial phase where the 15 to 18 year age group has taken off today. But also important is, just like we did in the adults at the outset, protecting vulnerable children. And vulnerable in this sense means those with medical illnesses, which are linked to immune suppression of any kind. Those are the children who certainly need to be prioritized, even among the age groups that we take up.
Very, very important information. Those who are in fact at risk more than others need to be prioritized even in these age groups. But let me bring in Dr. Mavlankar on that. Dr. Mavlankar, what are really the precautions that, in terms of public health need to be looked at? Parents also, of course, accompanying their children in large numbers. A lot of crowding also being seen at some of those vaccination centers. What really would you, from what you've seen on day one, of course, it's very important that children get vaccinated, but also the fact that we should avoid, any kind of crowding. Social distancing at this point of time with Omicron cases rising is also going to be of utmost concern, isn't it?
Yeah, sure. So all kinds of crowding has to be avoided, and especially for children, what will happen is one or two parents may come with them. So for each child vaccinated, there will be at least one accompanying person, which is required even because of the consent issue, because children can't give consent. And that is why more social distancing, larger number of centers and less number of people at each center should be what needs to be planned. Second is some of the children who may have allergies, we have to take care of them specially, because they can develop some reactions, etc., and we should be very careful, because once some adverse impact or something happens, then it gets a very bad name to the whole program, and many parents may be afraid. So we have to really ensure the quality of vaccination, the quality of emergency treatment available, so that no such untoward incident happens.
Well, absolutely. And in fact, are there any other precautions that parents and others need to keep in mind, Dr. Dasgupta, when it comes to this entire vaccination process? Allergies is one area. You also spoke about those who are in vulnerable groups. What else would you advise those parents as well as the children who are going in for vaccinations to keep in mind?
Yes, and certainly to add to that, the adverse events following immunization program, the AFI program, has been recalibrated to take care of this expanded age group. Just like the adults, the waiting for half an hour for any immediate anaphylaxis reaction is very crucial. The vaccination camps, the personnel, they have been trained and now also they're fully alert to these possibilities. And we really hope that the vaccination proceeds well.
Well, absolutely, absolutely. And also, sir, many concerns about the total number of vaccines, Mr. Dasgupta. That's a question I put across to the other doctor on our panel. As far as India is concerned, many other vaccines that are in the pipeline. What has happened to several of them that had in fact received DCGI approval is also a very important question, even as we look at or are examining the final question of whether to mix our booster doses or not.
Are you asking
Dr.
me?
Dasgupta.
Okay. Very quickly, very briefly, the mix and match decision or heterologous booster is still awaited. We understand this would be taken up in early January, and boosters are really currently scheduled to start from next Monday. But this will require mix and match decisions will require the guidance from both the NTAGI and the NEGVAC.